Hey team, I wanted to talk to you about the number one mistake that I'm seeing of my clients, not my mortgage clients, but actually the business owners, the service-based business owners, the IFAs, the mortgage brokers, the insurance advisors that I coach and mentor, particularly on on a one-to-one basis. There's a commonality, if I can say it, there's a similarity, and there seems to be a running theme through the challenges and the mistakes that they're having along their first initial years in business. And don't get me wrong, I made these same mistakes too. And that's why I think it's vitally important that it isn't underestimated, it isn't underplayed, and you really do start to get a grip of overcoming the number one challenge that I think most small business owners, in honesty, most people who have been employed in a role and move into self-employment aren't necessarily told, because you don't know what you don't know. You're not always clear on exactly what you need to be doing when you first start out. And if you don't have someone to tell you, then that's what's going to make it really difficult. That's why I love having coaches and mentors and people who are further ahead on the journey than I am, running 7- and 8-figure businesses, because it gives you the opportunity to learn. When you go self-employed, first of all, who have you got to ask what are the options for me to do this the right way? If you constantly learn through trial and error and mistakes, then it's going to cause you stress, it's going to cause you anxiety, it's going to cause you worry. Let me ask you now, how many years, how many hours have you put into learning your current profession, doing the job that you do either as an employee or before you moved into self-employment? If you think of an accountant, how many hours have they put into training to being a better accountant? A financial advisor, if you started as an insurance advisor, then a mortgage advisor, then moved into wealth management, you have to do 30 hours of CPD every single year. How many hours are you learning the job that you are actually doing? But in comparison, how many hours are you learning about running a business? The key impact areas in a business, monitoring those consistently and driving your business forward. With an employee mindset, you often feel trapped in the business, but the goal when you move into self-employment and as a business owner is to work on the business. So the number one challenge, mistake, issue that I'm commonly seeing for financial services professionals, for small business owners, for service-based business owners, is not having a close enough grip on the numbers, the sales numbers, your business turnover, your monthly expenditure, and your profit margins. When you start to actually assess the numbers on a consistent basis and you match a spreadsheet or a CRM system, customer relationship management system, with your zero, with your monthly accounting, with your facts and figures that are actually proven based on your bank statements, you can then start to make solid predictions in relation to when's the right time to invest in marketing, when's the right time to invest in people. Now, when can I bring on an admin, a PA, an advisor? If you constantly don't have a clear grasp on your numbers, you're always going to be living in fear. And don't get me wrong, you can build a huge 6-figure income. I coach one guy who has a 6-figure personal income, doesn't use Xero, doesn't use QuickBooks, doesn't monitor his bank statements, doesn't track the actual number of leads coming into the business, the number of applications that are being made, the average transaction value, and yet still has a 6-figure business. But the question is that he's come to me for is last year, when he's taken on 5 advisors at one point and is now back to 2, is how do I stop that happening again? I'm giving them leads and they're not converting. How do I make sure that actually when I'm driving this forward that they're doing this, that and the other? That the advisors are starting to pick up the reins in terms of giving me the opportunity to remove myself from the day-to-day operation. Because it's all about setting your intention, deciding on the vision in terms of where you want to get to. Where do you want to be in the next 12 months? And then breaking it down into action steps each quarter, each month, in order to move closer to it. But if you don't have if you don't have a detailed grasp of the numbers, leads, sales, upsells, average transaction value, profit, expenditure, turnover, lead time from sale being submitted through to money hitting the bank. You can't make good enough predictions. So you can still have a successful business. I'm not saying that you can't. But what I am saying is if you want to start relieving stress, recruiting people, improving your marketing, investing back into the business to give you lead, sales, profit, time, more choices, then you need to start monitoring your numbers. You need to start using tech. You have to have something better than an Excel spreadsheet purely to manage your clients. You know, I'm seeing lots of financial services professionals purely using something like Trello or Asana and using a board for each part of the sales process. The issue with that is it's great for a customer journey, but it doesn't give you any prediction in terms of the sales that you're going to have. I can log on to my customer CRM system right now for my business, and I can see that currently between new lead and application being submitted, we've got roughly 312,000 in the pipeline of business that's being, potential. If we then take the 17% conversion that we currently have, and bearing in mind that includes people in the last 3 to 6 months who won't convert for another 3 to 6 months, if I take that 17% conversion, I can then work out approximately what we're roughly due, 130, 40 grand, something along those kind of lines, based on the average conversion of 9 advisors. I can also look and say, right, you're converting at 30% versus you're converting at 8%. Why is that? Let's have a one-to-one. Let's have a conversation. Let's review the files that you've been looking into. Without data, you will always feel stressed. You will always feel frustrated. So I would love to ask you, how keen are you on managing your business by data? My operations manager has never done this. He's a Halifax branch manager for nigh on 12 years. He's monitored his own numbers as a sole trader mortgage advisor, but now having stepped into an operational position for my business, I'm having to teach and train how we monitor the business week by week on a numbers basis, monitoring the weekly sales, looking at the opportunities of upsell, seeing where gaps have been, where the ball's been dropped and where gaps lie for our clients, not just from a monetary point of view, but from a risk point of view. Making sure that we're giving the best advice to our clients, making sure that they're getting the products and the services and the conversations that they need to ensure that they are fully aware of everything that is a risk, that is an issue, that is a potential issue in the future. So I would urge you, it's one of the biggest things I go teach in my mentoring and my coaching. It's the first session that I do when I'm one-to-one with people. It's the first part of my 6-step formula to building a more successful business in my pro method. Vision. And in that vision, know your numbers. Understand all of the key metrics that you need to be tracking in order to be able to make your business predictable. When I was working with my one-to-one client who I mentioned earlier, once we put the numbers down on paper, his perception was that he needed to write 250 grand this year, and that he would actually have to work from 9 in the morning until 2 o'clock some nights in order to make that work. But actually 2 o'clock in the morning, that is, doesn't work when he's got to look after the kids. But actually in doing that, and actually when we mapped it out based on his sales, one of his advisors' sales hitting target, another one of his advisors hitting target, bringing in another advisor after 3 months, actually he's going to end the next 12 months with £100,000 in the bank. So it enables me to say, what's my priority? Is your health and well-being? What's the reason why you're working? What's the outcome that you're seeking? What do you want from your business? Do you want £100,000 in the bank at the end of the year? Or do you want to write half as much and have half as much in the bank, but have a better quality of life? More freedom, more time to spend with the kids, the wife, go on holidays, whatever it may well be. The decision over the course of the next 12 months is then completely down to my clients and the person that I'm working with. We build the architectural plan for what you want to achieve over the course of a 12-month period. And then we become the builder, the coach, the mentor to drive those results and make sure that you hit those targets. It's all about the numbers. And as soon as you gain grasp and get a clear indication and picture of how you track your metrics, how you monitor your numbers, and how you use them to make business predictable, everything becomes less stressful. The decisions that you make become easier. And if you're fearful, and you're not everybody is into numbers, in mortgages and financial services, I even find some of my clients who are coaching clients aren't necessarily into the numbers. But I pay my bookkeeper roughly £150 a month. And that's to check off my Xero, which is an online accounting software where she reconciles the invoices, she reconciles every single expenditure. On my phone, I take a picture and upload receipts to the Xero app. I drag and drop things in my email into a Dropbox where she then uploads it and reconciles it. And every month I get a profit and loss for that month. Every month I review the expenditure and go through to make sure that it matches against our cash flow forecast and that everything is accounted for in the right way. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who wants to create a lifestyle, which is what I'm a massive fan of. I hope that you want to build your business around your lifestyle. Your goal, your mission should be to get a clear grasp of your numbers. And for £150 a month in finding a bookkeeper who is an expert at managing those, it's a leverage of time for me. I still monitor and manage and measure those numbers, but I make sure that it is accurate. And I leverage her time at a lower cost per hour to my time. Not that it's a devalue, it's just my hourly rate in terms of what I can do from an income and generating perspective versus reconciling lines on Xero. The two don't balance out. But the beauty that I have every single month is I know exactly where my business is. I know exactly how much the advisors have been paid. I know the exact profit margins and percentages, and I can reinvest into the business to build the business that I want, that provides me with the lifestyle that I want. And you should do exactly the same thing. So it's one of the key foundational principles. It is the key foundational principle. Vision, part of my Pro method. Knowing your numbers and having clear cash flow forecasts for the future. Understanding those numbers and then driving your business based on those numbers. It's like aiming for, it's winning the goal, it's winning the game. If you want to add 50 grand, how? What does that break down to? How many more leads do you need? How many more sales do you need? How many upsells do you need? What's the average transaction value on a yearly basis of every single sale that you make? Where are you perhaps having a leaky bucket and not converting as many life insurance, critical illness, income protection, insurances, whatever it may well be? Soon as you start to plug those gaps, the investment that you have in my coaching and mentoring is a slight percentage of how much your sales, profit margins, and personal income can be increased. So that's a commonality that I've been seeing from my 20 coaching clients that I've started working with this year on a more one-to-one and group basis in order to drive the results that they seek from their business. Knowing your numbers, understanding the spreadsheets, having the resources and the tools is all part of my Pro Academy as vision, marketing, process, people, sales, and overall business model is the 6 steps to building a more successful business, building a fun and profitable lifestyle business that gives you more time and freedom to do the things that you love with who you love. Hope this video has inspired you. Hope it's given you something to think about. If you have any questions at all on knowing your numbers, then hit me up below, leave me a comment, get in touch, connect with me on any social channel. Be great to continue the conversation. And if you're interested in the Pro Academy, let me know. I can give you the details for it. Trust me, it's had success with hundreds of people now, and I know that it's going to have success for you because it's a proven 6-step Pro method that's taken me from me, an admin and a marketing assistant, to me, an operations manager, 8 advisors and 4 administrators and 3 new Kickstarters joining. The journey never stops. The business that I want to build is about building my personal development. Your business can only grow as much as you grow. So business development is as much about personal development as it is about everything else. Mindset, growth, challenge, overcoming adversity, and reaching the goals and targets that you want to reach. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. Remember, now's the time to become pro. Have a fantastic day.